Floor Kids is a modern take on the rhythm game, with a few variations, where classic rhythm games would traditionally have you push buttons to the beat or to the time, so you have to do them in a certain specific order, whereas in this you have the option to do it more creatively, so it gives you 5 different areas you get scored on, where there's musicality, originality, style, whether you listen to the people who shout out play Freebird or the game's equivalent, because in this it's more to do with doing different moves, and you have a choice of different moves. So there are 4 different breakdowns. So there's an up dance move, there's a down dance move, there's a spin, and then there are freezes, and you get 4 different options for each different character. So they'll just use a genre, so I'll be like, do a freeze move, and then you gotta do a freeze move as quick as you can within the time limit. And there are transitions, so there are 8 different characters, each with their own sets of moves, so the 4 different sets have their own 4 different moves, so that means 16 different moves in total. But then there are over 100 different transitions between all of those moves, so some are slower than others, and depending on which character you pick, either you're going to be more apt in certain styles, so you're probably going to transition between those better, and others you're going to be a bit slower in, and also, with the freezes and the spins, you're probably going to be more likely to fall flat on your face. Now you've got to try and balance your scoring so you've got an ideal mix of trying to go to the beat, or, keep your own beat and your musicality, keeping it fresh and varied, and then going between the different things, and then also listening to them shouting it out, so you got to do their different moves, and that's one that you got to do, because if you don't do that, that's like 100% of that gone down the drain. Maybe you might miss some of those transitions, but if you ignore them entirely, you are going to miss out a lot of your score, and it's going to really make the game pretty hard. Now, like I said, it's pretty varied to different rhythm games. Now, one that I'd compare it to is the last breakdancing game that I played, where you got a few different moves and you got to do the moves to the time, and then the longer you keep the chain going without breaking, failing, the more complex the dance moves and the breakdancing moves become. That's pretty fun, but this is very different. You've got access to all your moves at all times, and you can vary them up whenever you want. And it's basically, can you do a mix of going to a sort of rhythm, making it sort of cool and unique? And I'd compare it to Parappa the Rapper Cool Stage, because Parappa the Rapper Normal, where you've got your normal, you've got your sucking, and then you've got you're basically about to die, and then there's the cool stage. So whilst you're at the normal and blow, you've got to follow the beats to the rhythm as they come on the screen. Now, when you've got cool flashing, what most people don't realise is that it's time to be creative, time to stop pushing the button to the beat and do your own thing. And then once you break through to the cool stage, you don't even have the beats on the screen. You just got to make up your own stuff, keep your own musicality and your own rhythm, and you don't just button mash, and you don't just be repetitive, because if you do that, suddenly Mr. Onion will refix the stage and be like, you suck, time to rebuild the stage, I've kicked all the stage away for you to be cool and have your own creativity, but if you're going to suck that bad, we're going to bring back the line, and you're going to follow the beats and, go to the line. The whole game is pretty much the cool stage, so you've got to keep your own rhythm, and if you stop playing too much, your character's going to just stand still, or if you suck too much, your score is going to affect. Now, there are a few points which is called the chorus, where you do have to actually push buttons to the time, and again, that varies up, so some of the easier ones are there, and you can press any button. It's not like press specific buttons, it's just push the button to the time. Between each of those segments, there's literally button mash as hard as you can. That's what makes it pretty hard, though. It's like, can you button mash for all of the things? Because if you don't, then your chorus score is going to suffer, and maybe that might make the chorus a lot harder than it needs to be, because pushing the buttons to the time, you can probably pick that up for the chorus, but with the button mashing, I'd probably prefer it to be a bit more freestyle. Judge you on a freestyle, do whatever you want in this little bit as a freestyle bit, rather than button mash as hard as you can, even though it is good to take out your frustration on. It's like, damn, I missed the thing, so mash 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 mash. But saying that, it's still a pretty fun game, and, it might be hard to unlock all the characters because you have to get 3 stars or above, and it gives you a random card, and you have to get 4 cards to unlock a different character. You do get your choice of whichever character you want from the start, so that is a good thing. You can pick whichever you think is going to be better to your playstyle, play through that person with the main campaign, and then unlock a few more as you go. But, if it's random, depending on what cards you get, maybe it might be a while before you even get another character, or you could be lucky and get one straight away. And, that might affect how much you enjoy the variation, because you might want to vary up your characters and vary up your playstyles, and they do have very different dance styles and dance routines and look very cool. And the art style itself is very cool as well. And it's got a music track designed by renowned scratch DJ Kid Koala. I'm not familiar with that sort of world, so, I don't know who he is. And the animation style is by John, which looks a very cool style as well, and the music fits and it's very cool as well. So there are 40 different tracks across 8 locations, so each of the 8 locations have 3 different places. And, it's quite a fun game. You can have a lot of fun with it. It's single player as well as 2-player dance battles, and if you want to do the dance battles, you can get a lot of fun out of that. Like I said, it's very innovative. It's pretty much freestyle, do what you want, but try and get the scores, because you've got to keep the balance between keeping it fresh and varying your moves and trying to make your own rhythm, whilst also listening to the audience shouting, "Hey, do freebirds!" because everyone wants you to do freebirds. And it's like, well, I'll do this breakdance move even though I just literally started another move, especially if you've got your timing. The timing that they shout it seems to be so perfect, as like, I've just transitioned to another move, and you're going to make it so awkward to keep a flow and a rhythm now because you literally shouted out to a completely different move to what I've just done. And it does make it a bit hard, but also that's half of the fun. So see if you can get 5 stars on all the levels. There's a lot of fun to it. It's very original, very fun, and it's a fresh take on the rhythm game, so I would definitely recommend it. You can have a lot of fun with it, and it's not that bad a price, so go check it out for yourself. That is Floor Kids.